Welcome to the Rainbow Gateway Oracle, Virgo. This is your reading for all placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, Heavy Sixth House. We have an OG Rider-Waite reading today coming out. We here at the Rainbow Gateway Oracle are ecstatic to have you with us. Thanks for watching. We are a psychic tarot reader. We are an astrologer, Western Tropics. We are also a licensed acupuncturist and Chinese medicine practitioner. And we are carrying a master's degree in science and Oriental medicine. And we are near our doctoral degree, though we have a autistic genius in behavioral psychology. We are a trauma specialist and definitely have a degree in the effects of child abuse and the like. And essentially, we are here to help you heal your wounds, find inspiration in your life, find the best partner in your life, heal those codependency issues, and whatever else comes out. We have the Emperor. So let's pull out these cards and we'll get our reading going. And we have subscriptions coming soon when we have our website completed. And you can read about that in the description box. We also have readings for sale. Feel free to email us at therainbowgatewayoracle@gmail.com and inquire about a reading. We will hook you up. In the future, our readings will only be available when you're a subscriber to our website. But right now, you can still get one via our email without being a monthly subscriber. So, this is the time of our life here where we're building our online business. And we've been already practicing Chinese medicine since 2017. So we are wanting a more mobile lifestyle, and we are fish tour hippies, we are autistic, we are high functioning, and we are also a writer and other. The ability to evolve in one's career and start new businesses is a privilege that not everyone has, but could develop if that's their way in life. Two of Swords. And we're just saying that there's someone here who would love to have the freedom to work from home. And ask the universe, okay? Ask the universe how to put that together for you, okay? For me, when it comes to being a tarot reader and stuff like that, you know, I didn't always have this idea to do this. And the universe sent me through a really gnarly ego death. I had my heart broken by a real bad malignant narcissist. And that's when I stumbled upon tarot readings online. Now, I was always someone who read tarot for myself, but I was not really a reader for other people. And that's when I discovered that I could be more mobile in life and work from home. As an autistic person, I need to be more on my own time. And I love seeing patients and stuff like that. And I love helping people, and I was working with veterans, okay? I've worked with many veterans, and I've helped them eliminate nightmares and aches and pains and everything. And that's what I've been doing in life. I was also a community acupuncturist. So I was contracted with the VA to treat veterans, not working directly for the VA, but as a contractor. And also I was doing community acupuncture. So we were doing sliding scale acupuncture, $20 to $60. And, you know, so that's giving acupuncture to people in a group to make it more affordable. Acupuncture is a discipline. It's something you have to have several days a week for a time period in order to recalibrate your nervous system. A lot of times people don't do acupuncture correctly. So if you just go like once a month, you know, you're going to feel, you know, something if you have a good acupuncturist, but it's not really going to affect much change in your body depending on, you know, how sick you are. If you have chronic illness, it takes a long time for the body to develop chronic illness, and that starts in your childhood from harsh upbringings. And it takes a lot of time to unwind the dysfunctional patterns of behavior and emotion when you go to an acupuncturist. It's not something that just happens one time. And that's the thing, people don't do it correctly, and then they say, oh, that doesn't work. Well, that's because you're not doing it correctly, all right? And it takes time, and it's discipline. It's like going to yoga. You know, you could go to yoga once a month. That's great. You're going to get a benefit once a month, but it's not really going to do a whole lot for you when you're not going 3 to 5 days a week. Yoga is a lifestyle. It's a mentality. It's a philosophy. And it also helps you develop your mind-body connection. And it brings more self-awareness. And so does acupuncture. It opens things up that are closed. It helps you plant better seeds into your head, okay? And then that helps you shift the false limiting belief systems inside. And then that helps you get better opportunities in life and see things in a new way. And the nervous system is your brain and spinal cord. And acupuncture taps into your nervous system. And when you understand the nervous system is operating with electrical impulses and signals, you understand that when you insert a needle into the body, it creates a micro trauma. And we're talking about an acupuncture needle. It's very thin, and mostly the points don't even bleed. Sometimes you get a bleeder, but most of the time it doesn't even bleed when you put those needles in. They're very thin, and it goes into a particular point in the body. And these are like little grid points all along your system. And what happens is you get electrical congestion in the channels. And these are the neural pathways. And what the acupuncture does is it helps to redirect the electrical signals. So sometimes the signals aren't firing properly over the synaptic clefts. And it also stimulates the immune function and all the other systems in the body because it activates the cellular activity. It activates the body's natural repair process and helps you regulate your nervous system. People who are sick have dysregulated nervous systems. And that's the thing. This is medicine that's been around for 3,000 years. And this is someone here watching who wants to put acupuncture down but doesn't have the education and knowledge which would allow them to understand how it actually works in the body. Because a lot of times when modalities are discredited by others, they just have a blanket statement that says, oh, that doesn't work. But they don't have any idea about anatomy and physiology, and they don't even know how the nervous system works. You know, having knowledge of physiology is extremely important to understand how acupuncture would actually do something. So that's just a little bit of education here. And we have a couple more cards coming out, and then we'll get into the reading. And we help people understand acupuncture because it's amazing. And I'm someone who was raised in a really violent environment. And I was someone who was distorted feminine for years and years with insecure attachment issues and stuff like that. And I went through therapy for like 15 years of life, various modalities, yoga, acupuncture, equine assisted trauma therapy even. Like I worked with horses to help heal the trauma, the intimacy issues, the emotional repression, and the self-abuse. Because, you know, when you come from an abusive household, your parents teach you to abuse yourself sometimes, or you become the abuser. And these are the things we have to look at. We have to stop gaslighting ourselves. And that takes a lot of work, okay? And I'm just sharing a little bit of that here because acupuncture absolutely changed my life, and so did yoga. And that helped me regulate my nervous system. And then I also educated myself. You know, I read books like Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg. And I read books like The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And it really just changes your perspective on top of doing the regulating of the nervous system itself. That really helps you pop into a whole different perspective and mental framework. And when you understand the power of mind, and when you understand positive thinking, it's really important to understand the difference between positive thinking and toxic positivity, because there's toxic positivity which would be emotionally repressing, and it would glaze over issues and negative feelings. Negative feelings are not wrong. They're messengers, they're signals, okay? You have to understand what they're telling you. But when you get a negative feeling and you pretend it's not there and you put some positive shit over the top, that's toxic, okay? Having a positive mindset is like finding what you can learn through the negative experience, through the negative expression of emotion. What is the negative expression of emotion trying to signal to your conscious mind? Because it's the subconscious mind trying to speak to the conscious mind. And oftentimes it's trying to show you that you have fear-based thinking patterns and you're making choices that are coming from fear and not from your heart. And you're believing things that are false. And so the emotional body has several different functions. One of the functions is to let us know when we have faulty thinking patterns and false beliefs in our head. And when we get a negative emotion, we have to take a step back and do something called self-inquiry. Not everybody's willing to do self-inquiry, and that's what you need to know. Not everybody's willing to do it, but that's what's going to get you a better feeling inside. That's what's going to get you better thoughts, better opportunities, better friends, better money, better sex. You have to do the inner work, and then you see the outer life shift, okay? And sometimes the outer world comes at you so you can shift on the inside, okay? We have inside, outside, outside, inside, yin and yang and yin. And we have subjective, objective, personal, impersonal, and, you know, we have to see what our core energies are, what our core needs are. When you don't know what your core needs are, which are based on your energy, then sometimes you don't meet your own needs. And when you don't know how to meet your own needs because you don't even know what they are, then you have a problem. You know, then we can expect other people to do things for us that other people can't do for us. And it's really important for someone here to check out the book Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg. It'll change your whole life, okay? Whole life. We have Queen of Cups here at the bottom. And now let's get into the cards. We have the Emperor with the Queen of Wands here. Now, someone is not happy here with their boss, and their boss is absolutely stepping all over their inspiration, stepping all over their creativity, stepping all over them, okay? They're not allowing you to take action, and they're making your creative ideas look stupid. And they're not stupid, okay? This is someone that you don't want to keep in your life, and you're being suggested here. It's suggested that you find a better job, okay? With the Lovers and the King of Swords, making the higher frequency choice in life is important, but you're not always seeing the truth, okay? And when you don't see the truth, sometimes you make the wrong decision, and yeah, there's someone here that is not at all okay with what choices your heart makes, okay? They don't like that you follow your intuition. And they don't like that you speak your truth. But that's too bad. It doesn't matter whether they like it or not. Keep standing tall, okay? Keep making those higher choices. They're not easy to make. But the other alternative is to make choices with fear, but that creates more suffering. The thing to understand about life is we have suffering and pain. Pain is a signal, and it tells you something. Now, when you listen to the pain, when you allow yourself to feel it, you can move past it. You can find the source of it and weed it out and get through it. I mean, it's not, always so simple, but those are the steps. But when we don't, make that choice to deal with the pain, then it comes into suffering and it spins and spins and spins. And some people choose to stay suffering and don't have to. And they choose to stay miserable and don't have to. But then they see what you're doing. They see that you have this creative energy, that you're real sparkly and, upbeat and joyful even. And they want to take you down a notch. They want to take you down like 6 notches. They want to step on you, okay? And that's because they're miserable. And they want to keep you miserable too. There's a lot of people out there. And it's discouraging at times. It's really discouraging at times that people would do that. It doesn't have anything to do with you, but they make it about you. And really all you can do is set a boundary and walk away. Speak your truth. Let them know why you're walking away, but it doesn't have to be a big drama. You just say a few words, make it real simple, make it real clear, write it when you're not triggered, and just let it go, okay? Cut them out of your life and say, fuck you if you have to. Sometimes you have to, give them the sword. When you have people who are low vibes, sometimes you have to speak their low vibes language. Now, we don't have to get dirty and verbally abuse them. There's a difference between verbally abusing someone and sort of speaking their language so that they fucking hear you, okay? You get that. Now, 4 of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, you have another opportunity coming your way, and that's the thing you need to know. You have an opportunity coming your way, and it's going to be so much better, and it's exactly going to help you with your home, your happiness, and all that good stuff, all right? Don't spend too long going over the past mistakes because the universe is bringing you better, all right? But of course, there's a process of grieving. There's a process of self-examining. Okay, how did that happen? How did I get there? And all of that. And, maybe there's some things about the job or the place or the circumstances that are, they're attachments. It's hard to let go of some of the attachments that we have to things in our lives and people and, even parts of ourselves. But there's other parts of yourself that are wanting to be paid attention to, okay? And it's not far away once you deal with the circumstances at hand, okay? The ships will be coming in, the opportunity will be coming in. Toot sweet is what I'm hearing. And now we have 6 of Swords here with the 2 of Swords. It's seeing that there's a lot of indecision. And when there's a lot of indecision, it's because you're trying to make the choices from your head and not your heart, okay? But once you deal with the heartbreak from letting this go, and it's like you're not going to have to, it's like the end of that cycle of like having people like that in your life. This is, you know, a lesson from the universe about bosses and employees and stuff like that in your life. Okay, it's like it hurts, but you're not going to have to go through that again. You want to take the wisdom out of the heartbreak here after you go through the emotions and stuff like that. And you'll see that it's the end of this type of a cycle because you're wanting a new experience in life. And the new experience that's coming in here is going to make you feel like a winner. You're going to be honored and seen for what you do and who you are, okay? Instead of in the past being stepped on, you're going to be celebrated, you're going to be talked about, you know, and you're going to be in a good way. You know, people are going to talk you up. And with the Queen of Cups at the bottom, it's the time for you to really feel your feelings, let them be there, whatever they are, okay? Let them be there, whatever they are, and watch your head, watch your mind. Don't judge yourself for having feelings. There's nothing wrong with having feelings. Even wrath, even like contempt and stuff like that. Like sometimes you have to let those feelings out, but then you move beyond them. You don't stay in that feeling, okay? But the mind can judge those as bad, okay? I shouldn't have that feeling. It's wrong to feel that way. There's a reason it's there. Get yourself a journal. And, you know, when you feel angry, you know, write in that journal furiously, you know, like smash your pen on it, break your pen, throw your pen if you have to. Sometimes you need to. And just let yourself do that. Sometimes we have to let ourselves throw a tantrum, okay? Allow yourself to have an adult tantrum by yourself, and then make yourself some chamomile tea and get some essential oils, take a hot bath. Just let it all out. Scream if you have to, and then collect yourself, and you'll see that you feel better when you don't repress it, okay? You have to learn how to express your emotions in a healthy way that aren't dumping it on someone else and aren't violent to someone else. And, you know, sometimes you can't help it when it pops out. But you have to see that you can't put it on another person, but you can still express it and let it out. Otherwise, it becomes toxic on the inside when you don't let yourself feel those feelings and when you judge yourself too harshly for having them. Feelings are normal. Every single feeling is purposeful, okay? Negative feelings are purposeful. Positive feelings are purposeful. Negative feelings show us something about an adjustment that needs to be made in our life in some way, shape, or form, okay? And there's a whole lot about feelings that not everybody is aware of. Like, what do my feelings tell me? Frustration, for example, can let you know that you're having a lack of acceptance about a situation, okay? When you feel frustrated, you're not accepting the way life is going. And then that's okay that you're not accepting it in the moment, but the signal there is coming up so you can work on that. Find a way to accept the way that things are, and then you can find a solution. And you don't even have to look for a solution a lot of times. Once you reach acceptance, the universe brings you the solution. So you ask the question, well, how the fuck do I get out of this one this time, right? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Don't try to figure it out. Even if you find your mind spinning around trying to figure it out, because it'll do that, take some deep breaths. Get in the hot tub, whatever you need to do. Keep yourself busy in another way, and then you'll find the solution. It comes to you. The solution comes to you. Be in a state of receptivity here, okay? Allow it to come to you rather than racking your brain about it. the intuition will light up when that opportunity is correct. And when it doesn't seem quite right, it's not the thing yet, all right? And we're going to pull a Chinese 5 element here and then see what we have to say about that. Nope. This one. Water ox, number 50. This ox would like to speak today because we did another reading and it came out at the end. Softness and gentleness. It's really important to be gentle with yourself through the process. And gentleness comes with open-heartedness and self-compassion. Now, if we didn't grow up around compassionate, gentle people, we might not know how to be gentle with ourselves. And that's something you can research. You know, how can I be gentle with myself on all levels? You know, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. How can I be kind and good to me? You deserve someone to be gentle with you like they would a puppy, okay? And that's your inner child self, you know? Our inner toddler never goes away. It's always there. And we can love the inner child inside. And it was mentioned earlier, you know, throw a tantrum. Let yourself do that. And then take care of yourself like you would a small child. You know, get yourself a sippy cup and a toy to play with and a cozy blanket and a stuffy, okay? And that's, you know, sometimes what we have to do for ourselves is let ourselves be a small child inside and just get the comfort that a child would need when they're crying. And it's okay to go through the feelings. Don't beat yourself up for having feelings. Feelings come from your brain, okay? We all have brains. We all have feelings. They're supposed to be there. We live in a world that's very harsh emotionally. And it's also dysfunctional emotionally. And a lot of what our parents are teaching us is harsh emotional abuse. And we're in a world and in a time where we're evolving emotionally. The old adage, spare the rod, spoil the child, is evil. And it's punishing and it's not relevant anymore. And we have to get rid of that kind of thinking. And when we think that way about ourselves, we self-harm, we hurt ourselves. Don't abuse yourself emotionally. Learn how to accept your emotional self. Learn how to nurture your inner child self. Learn how to reparent yourself inside of your own head, okay? There's a mental discipline that's wanting to evolve here and be put into place. And it'll really take you to the next level. It'll open up your third eye and it will get that heart open too, all right? It'll get that throat chakra open. It'll help you be more authentic, more aligned with you on the inside instead of who they told you that you should be. You should be yourself, not who they think they want you to be, okay? They, quote unquote, they don't know anything about what you need, and they are not caring about what you need. You have to care about what you need, and you have to find what fits for you and learn to put down their opinions that are shitty and false at times, okay? And that's the advice from Spirit here. And there's a little bit of a card on the bottom. Treat yourself like royalty. Yeah, that's the thing to do. And stand up tall. You know, show off your feathers, okay? You're beautiful. You're gorgeous, all right? And that's the thing. We can be, you know, polished on the outside. We can have our hair in place and our nails done and all that good stuff. We have the right outfit and everything. But when you don't feel good on the inside, it doesn't matter what you're wearing on the outside. You think you're ugly, but you're not, okay? And that's because of the way you feel sometimes. But you're not an ugly person. They try to make it out like you are. Stop listening to them because they're full of shit. And look at yourself in the mirror every day and tell yourself that you love yourself and that you're beautiful. And even if you don't believe it today, the more you do it, the more you convince yourself of what's true. Because the truth is you are gorgeous. And they convinced you that you're ugly, okay? They are the ones that are ugly in this particular case because they wanted to make you less than in life, and you're not less than. And that's what you need to remember. You're not less than. You're someone who deserves all the good things in the world, and you're a beautiful, beautiful person, okay? And having affirmations, it's not always the fun thing to do for the mental body. The ego would like to make fun of affirmations sometimes, but if you're a Saturday Night Live fan, just channel Stuart Smalley. You have to remember to tell yourself every day, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. And we can be silly and absurd and make fun of things, but we don't want to do it in a mocking, humiliating, or shaming way, okay? Find the lightness in it. Find the goofball. Find the silly. Find the absurd. The inner child wants to play. And that part of you has been stifled, okay? And wants to come out, wants to be there. But the individuals who minimize you prevent it from coming, okay? So having to deal with that in your life is where you're at here with this message in this card, okay? And access your inner knowing here with the water snake. It's really important that you tap your intuition. Tarot cards really helped me to develop my intuitive abilities. And I was always a psychic. I was a really psychic kid. But then, they sort of, it's not that your intuition goes away, but you stop trusting it. And that's what happens. You stop trusting yourself. And so that's what you need to do is to access your inner knowing and learn to trust yourself better. And that takes time. Tarot really helped me to learn to trust myself better. And so did following the signs and synchronicities that the universe brought to me. And it's a process. And, when I started reading tarot for myself, I would just read in a claircognizant way for myself. And claircognizance, sometimes it's hard to put words to the claircognizant knowing. And then, practicing. The more I worked with the cards, the more I would trust it. And anyone who reads tarot knows that sometimes you get a card that you don't want. Like the 8 of Cups when you're in a relationship with someone and you don't want to be told that it's not the right fit for you. And this is the thing that we do. Sometimes we try to put the card back and get a different one. Tarot will always make that card pop right back out. And these are the things that you can see when you're working with tarot is that the cards speak to you. And the more you play with them, the more you use them, the more you see that, the more you tap into the universe's forces and develop that muscle. And that's the thing you have to understand. Your psychic awareness is a muscle that you can develop, just like your biceps. But that comes with balancing your emotional self, loving your inner child, and, believing your own inner truth, thank you for coming and watching. This is the Rainbow Gateway Oracle. We have readings for sale in the description box. We have subscriptions upcoming when our website's finished, and you can read about that in the description box as well. Email us at therainbowgatewayoracle@gmail.com for a reading, and we will hook you up. And thanks for being here. Until next time.